Who should America deport, and where do Americans stand on ICE? New polls show divisions. That's what we're going to talk about today. Stay tuned. This is going to be fun. Welcome. How are we doing today? Hope y'all are doing awesome. So today we're going to talk about some new polls coming out, and this is an article that comes from USA Today, so take that with what you will. It's just mainstream media. That's what, it is. But anyway, who should America deport, and where do Americans stand on ICE? New polls show divisions. So again, USA Today. A new poll in the days after immigration raids in the Los Angeles area and the protests around the country that followed, and shows a divide among Americans who should be deported and how immigration laws should be enforced. Regardless of their policies, all Americans strongly agree that people who are in the country illegally and have committed violent crimes should be deported, according to the New Economist YouGov poll. Nearly all Republicans, 83% of 83% of Democrats said in the new poll taken June 6th through 9th that violent offenders should be deported. The gap grows much wider, though, when the 1,533 U.S. citizens were asked about 5 other situations of the Americans of the people in America illegally. The best words. Okay. The most pronounced split, 57 percentage points, was over whether people who committed non-violent crimes should be deported. Overall, Americans were almost evenly divided. Nearly 1/3 of Republicans believe everyone in the United States legally should be deported regardless of circumstances, a view shared only a small fraction of Democrats. Americans divided on the opinion of ICE. When it comes to the agency responsible for enforcing U.S. immigration laws, public opinion is nearly evenly split. According to the polls, 45% of respondents view U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, aka ICE, very or somewhat favorably, just 2 percentage points higher than those who hold a very somewhat unfavorable view. The poll breaks down the opinions by political ideology on whether to abolish ICE. About 7 out of every 10 Republicans wouldn't abolish ICE, while about half of Democrats would. See, only half of the Democrats think that they should. The other half thinks that they should leave it alone. Anyway, about 2/3 of Americans believe ICE agents should be required to wear uniforms. But again, opinions swing significantly based on political affiliation. 9 of 10 Democrats say ICE officers should always be uniformed, while about half Republicans do. So these are what the polls show. How well should ICE be identified? Should ICE agents be required to wear uniforms? 68% say yes, 18% say no, and 15% are unsure. I would vote yes on that. I mean, it's just like a police officer. Unless you're undercover and doing some undercover work, then maybe, but police officers wear them. So it's kind of the same thing. Federal agents, they all wear some form of a uniform. So I think they should, technically. Should ICE agents be allowed to wear masks to hide their identity? 39% say yes, while 47% say no, and 14% say unsure. Well, I would say At this day and age, I would say yes. Because they're just going to be targeted. Because the left, the Democrats, the people on the left, they would target them and they would go after them and they would find out who they are and they would target them, and it's just the way it is. Normally, I would say probably not, because most police officers don't. But right now, this day and age, with the cancel culture and the way that they're going after people, yeah, they need to protect themselves too. Says me. Excuse me. The Economist YouGov poll was conducted among 1,533 U.S. adult citizens. Respondents were selected from YouGov opt-in panel to be representative of U.S. adult citizens. A random sample stratified by gender, age, race, education, geographic region, and voter registration was selected from the 2019 American Community Survey. The margins of error for overall is approximately 3.5%. But yeah, that's basically the article. So yeah, so here we've got, on the deportation ones, we've got which people in the U.S. illegally should be deported. And here it says the percentage of Americans who say the following people should be deported: committed violent crimes. We got 97% of Republicans say deport them. 97%. All Americans, this is like everybody, 87% say deport them if they've committed violent crimes. And Democrats is 83%. So majority of everybody is on board with deport the violent criminals. And if they've committed violent crimes, deport them. Which is odd, because that's who they're targeting mostly. I mean, they're more targeting these violent criminals and the gang members and the drugs and whatnot. Those that have committed non-violent crimes, 78% of Republicans say get them out of here, deport them. Overall, 47%. 47% of all Americans say that they should be deported, and only 21% of Democrats. So even 21% of Democrats, of you on the left, say that they should still be deported. So it's there are still some of you. 21% may not be a lot, but of the Democrats, there's still 21% of you, over 20%, that think that even the non-violent criminals that are here illegal should be deported. So take that with what you will. Have children that are citizens. 48% of Republicans say yes. 26% of all Americans say yes, and only 7% of Democrats say yes, deport them, even if they have children that are citizens. I'm kind of on the fence on that. I'm more on the criminal ones. If they're criminals, they need to go back. If they're not criminals, they need to go through the process or go back. Children or not. Longtime residents has committed zero crimes or hasn't committed any crimes. 44% Republicans say still deport them. 24% of all Americans say deport them, and only 5% of Democrats say still deport them. Longtime residents. See, that's the one that I'm not. I would say, again, go through the process. But I don't think they should just automatically deport it, because they've been here a long time. They've committed no crimes. They're working. They're paying taxes. They're helping the economy. I say they can stay. I mean, I think they should still go through the process to become citizens, because there's legal ways to do this. But anyway, came to U.S. as children. 41% of Republicans, 22% of all Americans, and only 4% of Democrats say still deport them. So there's still some Democrats that are on board with deporting them on all these cases, just because they, some of them think logically, like, yeah, they're here illegally, they still need to go. But very small amount, but very small percentage of Democrats say that. But married to a U.S. citizen, 31% Republicans say deport them, 17% overall, and 4%. And there again, it comes with that caveat of, are they criminals? Just because they're married to somebody, if they've committed violent crimes and they've been, just because, oh, and all of a sudden I'm married, I should stay. It's a circumstance thing for me on that one. It depends on if that's the only thing that they have is, well, I'm married to I don't know. It depends on their past, and it depends on their history, and it depends on their if they've committed a crime, if they have multiple things just because they're married to somebody. But if they're a criminal, they're like this Abrego Garcia guy. Yeah, he was married to a U.S. citizen, but he still committed. Maybe they weren't nonviolent. Maybe they were nonviolent crimes, but they were still crimes, which takes you back up to the 78%, 47% of all people. So it's, you have to, you know, if it was a convicted murderer or somebody that came in illegally and killed somebody and then got married, there you go. I think they should still go, just because. So it kind of depends on the situation on some of these lower ones, like the came to the U.S. as a child. Okay, so you came to the U.S. as children, but as you grew up, did you start committing crimes? So there's things there. So, but anyway, that is basically where the U.S. stands on based on a Politico. What poll was it again? Shoot, I said it 100 times. What one was it? It was the Economist, YouGov poll. Based on that, these are where the U.S. stands on deportation, because I know that's the big deal right now. That's what's going on. So, anyway, that's the show for today. Appreciate you. Do the YouTube stuff. Links below to other channels and to support if you feel like it. And if you feel like it, if not, hey, that's cool. But anyway, links are down below if you feel like it. Do the YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, comment. You know the drill. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Love you. See you in the next one.